الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. أما بعد، فنتابع درسنا في قراءة كتاب الأجوبة الوادعية على الأسئلة النسائية. We'll continue our class and going over the book الأجوبة الوادعية على الأسئلة النسائية, which is answers by Sheikh Muqbil bin Hadi al-Wadi'i rahimahullah on questions related to the matters of the women. And in the previous class we mentioned, and we're still of course in the chapter regarding verdicts connected to the matters of pregnancy, menses, and bleeding after giving birth. And we mentioned in the previous class the opinion of Sheikh Muqbil al-Wadi'i rahimahullah regarding the bleeding after giving birth, that it does that the woman is considered in nafas, meaning that she is in her in that time of bleeding after giving birth, which has the same rulings as the menses. He said as long as the blood continues, 40, 60 days or more, it doesn't matter. However, this is the opinion of some of the people of knowledge. There are different opinions from the people of knowledge. Some of them say that 40 is the maximum, some say 60, some say there's no maximum, and the woman continues to wait and not pray and not fast, and she's not allowed to have a relationship with her husband as long as she continues to bleed. And the strongest opinion of that is 40 days because of some of the hadith that specify that. So unlike what the Shaykh rahimahullah mentions in his verdicts, there's no maximum number of days and that she continues to wait until she stops seeing the blood. This is the opinion of some of the people of knowledge, but the majority of the people of knowledge, including some of the senior scholars from the past and our times, from the likes of Sheikh bin Baz rahimahullah and other than him, they say that the longest that she waits is 40 days. And after 40 days, she takes a bath and she considers herself to be pure. And she prays and fasts, and her husband can have a relationship with her, and the blood is considered to be just normal bleeding or to be a vein. Wallahu a'lam. على كل حال, نتابع الأسئلة. We'll continue with the verdicts and the questions and the answers. So a woman asked, هل المرأة إذا انقطع عنها الحيض فيما بعد 3 أيام واغتسلت تعد طاهرة؟ أفتونا مأجورين وجزاكم الله خيرا. فبعض النساء ربما ينقطع عنها الدم ولا تغتسل ولا تصلي لمدة 10 أيام. So the question was, a woman, she stopped seeing blood 3 days after her period, after her menses. And is she allowed to take a bath and consider herself to be pure? Because some women, although the blood stops, the bleeding stops, she continues to consider herself to be in her menses up until 10 days, and she does not take a bath, she does not pray. قال الشيخ رحمه الله: إذا انقطع الحيض لمدة 3 أيام أو أقل أو أكثر فيجب عليها أن تغتسل وتصلي ويجوز لزوجها أن يجامعها. He said if the bleeding stops, whether from 3 days or more or less, the bleeding just stops, then she must take a bath and pray, and it is permissible for her husband to have a relationship with her. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى: ويسألونك عن المحيض قل هو أذى فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض ولا تقربوهن حتى يطهرن فإذا تطهرن فأتوهن من حيث أمركم الله إن الله يحب التوابين ويحب المتطهرين. The meaning of the ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the meaning of this ayah, they ask you about the menses, say it is harm, so stay away from the women while they are in their menses, and do not come to them, do not have a relationship with him until they become pure from their menses, and their menses finishes. فَإِذَا تَطَهَّرْنَ, and then if they purify themselves, meaning by taking a bath, then have a relationship with them in the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded you. Indeed, Allah loves those who repent often and those who purify, and He loves those who purify themselves. قال لا يجوز لها أن تتأخر عن الغسل بعد انقطاع الدم. It is not permissible for her to wait before taking a bath after the bleeding stops. وإذا لم تجد الماء, if she was not able to find water, وكانت لا تستطيع استعمال الماء تيممت حتى تجد الماء. if she was not able to find the water or she was not able to use the water, then she performs dry ablution. She performs tayammum until she finds the water. حتى تجد الماء أو تستطيع استعمال الماء, until she finds the water or until she's able to use the water. ويجب عليها أن تصلي بالتيمم. It is obligatory upon her to pray, even if it is by way of doing dry ablution. ويجوز لزوجها أن يأتيها والله أعلم, and it is permissible for her husband to have a relationship with her, and Allah knows best. ثم تقول سائلة, another question. امرأة نذرت أن تصوم 10 أيام من ذي الحجة من كل سنة, ولكن أتت عليها هذه السنة وهي في النفاس, فماذا يجب عليها? So a woman, she made a pledge. She made a vow, rather. She made a vow to fast 10 days every year in the Hijjah, in the month of the Hijjah, the Islamic month of the Hijjah. She made a vow to fast 10 days every year in the Hijjah. And one year, the question was, this year she was bleeding after giving birth. She was in the state of nifas, bleeding after giving birth. What is she supposed to do? قال الشيخ رحمه الله الذي يظهر أنه يلزمها القضاء والله أعلم. He said what is apparent to us is that she must make it up. She must make them up, make up those days, and Allah knows best. ثم تقول سائلة امرأة تحيض دائما 6 أيام متواصلة. A woman who usually has her menses for 6 continuous days. ثم في اليوم السابع إلى العاشر تكون في طهر تام. And then from the 7th until the 10th day she has no bleeding. وعندما تأتي تغتسل في هذه الأيام في وقت صلاة العشاء ترى شيئا. She finds something, liquids or fluids. Especially the question was regarding Salat al-Isha. When she comes to pray Isha, she finds some fluids. فهل يعتبر طهرا في هذه الأيام؟ صلاتها جائزة. وهل لزوجها أن يطأها في الأيام التي طهرت فيه؟ Is she considered to be pure, and is her husband, does she pray and does her husband have a relationship with her during those days? قال الشيخ رحمه الله المعتبر هو عادتها. What is looked at is her continuous and her regular menses. إذا كانت عادتها 6 أيام, if her menses is 6 days, فعليها أن تتأنى ولا تتعجل. She must wait, she must not hasten in taking a bath. فقد كانت عائشة تأمر النسوة ألا يغتسلن حتى يرين القصة البيضاء. Aisha radiallahu anha, she used to command the women not to hasten in taking a bath until they see the white. وهي شيء أبيض شبيه بالجص يكون في الفرج, which is white liquid that comes that comes at the end of the woman's menses. فإذا تأنت وبعدها رأت فالذي رأته دم يثج ثجا. So if she waits until that comes out and she is pure, and then she sees some blood. قال فالذي رأته دم يثج ثجا مثل دم الحيض أسود منتن. وهل استمر ساعة أو ساعتين أو يوما أو يومين. وهل استمر معها 3 عادات. So he said, first of all, she should look at this blood that she sees, and not any fluid. If it is blood and it is dark, black blood with an odor, and it continues, how long does it continue? Is it an hour or 2 hours or a day or 2 days? قال وهل استمر معها 3 عادات العادة الأولى والثانية والثالثة. فقد جاء فيه التفصيل أو قصرت في التفصيل في هذا الأمر. So also what is looked at is, did it continue for 3 months, 3 consecutive months, or did it happen one time? He said this question, the woman who asked this question, she actually fell short in regards to some of the details, some of the necessary details in order to answer this question. قال فإن كانت عادتها 6 أيام. If her menses is usually 6 days. ثم ترى كدرة أو صفرة وهو الماء المتغير بالدم. So if she sees, after those 6 days, she sees some colored يعني liquid with the color of blood, يعني pink color, very light color, yellowish color. He said فقد قال بعض الصحابيات ما كنا نعد الكدرة والصفرة بعد الطهر شيئا. He said some of the female companions, Allah be pleased with them, they said we used to not consider pink and yellow color fluids after a woman becomes pure from her menses. We used to consider it nothing, meaning that they did not consider it to be from their menses. قال أما إذا كانت ترى عادتها 6 أيام وبقيت 3 لا يأتيها الدم، في اليوم العاشر أتاها الدم، دم يثج كدم الحيض المستمر من قبل، ومشى معها 3 حيضات، فهذه الثلاثة الأيام التي طهرت فيها لا يحل لزوجها أن يأتيها، وإذا صامت فيها فعليها أن تقضي ولا تصلي فيه. So he said, whereas if the condition that her blood stopped for a couple of days or 3 days, and then she saw, and then she continued to bleed with the blood of the menses, dark, with blood with an odor, it came back to her, the same blood as the menses, it came back to her, and that happened for 3 consecutive months, 3 consecutive periods. Then she would consider, at that point, she should consider that her menses is as such, that her bleeding stops, and then she bleeds again. This is how she should consider her menses, that it changed. And so from that perspective, he said, if she did not pray, she must make up the prayer. If she did not fast days of Ramadan, she must make them up during she's not allowed to pray because it is her menses. Because it is her menses, she should not pray. And if she should make up the fasting if it is Ramadan. And her husband is not allowed to have a relationship with her. قال أما إذا كانت مجرد كدرة أو صفرة أو بعض العادات تأتيها وبعض العادات لا تأتيها فلا بأس به، فهذا لا بأس به إن شاء الله ولا يضر، وعسى أن يكون الجواب مفهوما. He said, whereas if it is yellow or pink, first of all, the condition that it is, or if the case that it is the bleeding that she sees on the 10th day or after her period stops, it was yellow or pink in color, then she should consider it nothing. And she should continue to pray and fast, and her husband can have a relationship with her. Also, if this only happened once or twice, or it does not continue, sometimes it comes to her after her period, few days after she finishes her period, and sometimes it does not, then she should consider it nothing. She should consider it nothing, and she continues to pray and fast, and her husband can have a relationship with her. Allah Ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. And we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next class. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين.